You've probably seen this guy, Bryan Johnson. Tracks over 100 biomarkers, eats his last meal before lunch, goes to bed before most people eat dinner. And here's the weird part, it's working. He hasn't missed a perfect sleep score in months. But what if I told you his results aren't just genetics or tech, they're based on science you can actually use, without spending millions or turning into a lab rat. Let's break down what he's doing right, what's actually backed by research, and how to adapt it to real life without going full biohacker. Bryan Johnson is a tech millionaire who sold his company to PayPal and now spends over $2 million a year trying to reverse his biological age. He calls it Project Blueprint, and he's probably the most measured human on Earth. He tracks his sleep, blood glucose, liver enzymes, VO2 max, facial aging, testicular volume, you name it. And yeah, he's got a medical team, AI-generated routines, and a supplement stack that looks like a pharmacy. But at the core of all this is a simple goal: create the healthiest version of himself and prove it with data. And some of the craziest habits, they're actually legit. Most of us could benefit from doing just 10% of what he's doing. Now, here's why most people can't. You're not skipping dinner every night, you're not testing your blood markers every morning, and you're definitely not spending $2 million to get younger blood. But that's a problem with most longevity advice. It's all or nothing. What works for Bryan Johnson isn't built for real people with jobs, kids, stress. But here's the good news. You don't need perfection to get 80% of the benefit. Partial changes still work. Time-restricted eating improves glucose control. Sleep regularity increases REM and deep sleep. Morning light boosts melatonin and resets your clock. The key is knowing what to keep and what to skip. So let's look at what Bryan actually does and why it works. First, time-restricted eating. Bryan eats between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. That's extreme, but the principle is powerful. Early eating supports your circadian rhythm. It improves blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and enhances sleep quality, even if your calories stay the same. Study after study backs this. Second, a perfect sleep routine. Every night, 8:30 p.m., every morning, 4:40 a.m. He cools the room, blocks blue light, and keeps his schedule locked. Why? Because sleep regularity is a massive predictor of long-term health. More important than sleep duration, more important than REM or deep sleep percentage. Third, morning light. Bryan hits 10,000 lux within 30 minutes of waking. It sounds weird until you realize your circadian rhythm needs light to function. Morning sunlight shuts off melatonin, raises cortisol, and locks in your body's timing for the day. Fourth, zero stimulants. No caffeine, no alcohol, because both disrupt sleep architecture, even if you don't feel it. One study found caffeine taken 6 hours before bed still cuts sleep by an hour. Alcohol reduces REM and increases overnight wake-ups. So yeah, it's all intense, but it's also grounded in physiology. And here's where we flip it. How do you make it practical? Let's start with the easiest win. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Just that one change improves deep sleep, lowers your resting heart rate, and increases insulin sensitivity overnight. If your last meal is at 6:30, you're good to sleep by 9:30. You don't need to eat at 11 a.m. like Bryan. You just need to give your body time to wind down. If you want to level it up, make that last meal high in glycine, low in fat, and include something warm like bone broth. That combo increases serotonin, cools your core body temp, and helps you fall asleep faster. Next, get morning light within 30 minutes of waking. No sunglasses, no glass between you and the sun. 5 to 10 minutes outdoors is all it takes. It boosts mood, improves alertness, and sets up better sleep that night. If you don't have outdoor access or it's still dark, use a 10,000 lux therapy light at eye level near your workspace. And if you want to go pro, pair your light exposure with a protein-based breakfast and 5 minutes of movement. You just locked in your cortisol curve, feeding rhythm, and mental clarity for the day. Now, caffeine. Cut it off by 2 p.m. earlier if you can. Caffeine has a 6-hour half-life, which means a 3 p.m. coffee is still 50% active at 9. And even if you fall asleep fine, deep sleep is compromised. If you want to sleep better tonight, stop by early afternoon and switch to electrolytes, movement, or decaf. Sleep timing is next. Set a wake-up time and stick to it. Yes, even on the weekends. Build your bedtime around that. Sleep irregularity is linked to higher rates of inflammation, insulin resistance, and anxiety. And the fix is simple. Get consistent. And finally, track one thing. Not 10, not 50, just one. You could track your sleep score or your protein intake or your step count. Pick what matters most to your goals and get consistent with it. And if you need help figuring out what that is, just ask in the comments. Progress creates momentum, and momentum changes behavior. Here's the full cheat code. Wake up, get light. Eat protein, stop eating 3 hours before bed, cut caffeine by 2 p.m., start wind down 30 minutes before sleep, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Do that for just 7 days and your HRV, your energy, and your sleep quality will all go up. And you won't need 100 biomarkers to prove it. Here's the mindset shift. Don't copy the routine, extract the signal. What makes Bryan's routine powerful isn't the extremity, it's the system. He's removed decision fatigue. He treats health like a protocol. You can do the same, just start with one lever. One routine, one habit, one change. The biggest mistake people make, trying to be perfect for a week, when you'd be better off being consistent for a month. Health isn't about tracking everything. It's about repeating something long enough for your body to trust you. You don't need $1 million routine to feel better. You just need a routine that actually works for you. Pick one strategy today, repeat it, then stack the next one. Which one are you going to start with? Drop it in the comments. And if you want the full cheat sheet version of this routine, just type cheat sheet in the comments.